What is up, everybody, and welcome to the first ever Dudes Who Bet Sports.
So you want to bet sports, but you need some advice on how to cash in big at a heck of a price. Well, if you want enough money to line your shorts, then you're in the right place. This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show live from San Diego, California. At least one half of us are live today from San Diego. Papa Dude, how we doing?
Doing great. How's the weather?
It is great. It is great. Beautiful, beautiful day here in San Diego. 65 degrees. I got a short sleeve shirt on. It was freezing when we left yesterday at Missouri. So, yeah, I'm feeling great. Is it still cold in Missouri?
It was 32 when I walked at 8 o'clock this morning. But the sun's out. It's probably about, 40, 45 maybe. It's a pretty day, though. It's not awful.
Well, it seems like it's going to be nice here for the week. So if you're betting the Breeders' Cup, it's going to be perfect. 71 degrees, sunny. Going to be perfect. So Thursday card starts here in a couple hours. But before we get to that, my phone rings, before we get to that, we got football to talk about. We got a lot going on. I mean, there's a lot happened since I've left the house yesterday. The Browns are crumbling. The college football playoff, everybody's pissed there unless you're a Georgia or Alabama fan. So we'll cover a lot of that. Let's talk about the playoff that came out, or the rankings that came out first, though. The big thing was Alabama is at number 2. I think that shocked people. Oregon is number 4. I think that shocked a lot of people. Cincinnati, who had been number 2 in the AP poll, is now number 6 in this first one. And then OU, which I actually think they're about right at 8, but some OU fans did not. What were your reactions, or your reaction, I should say, from the first poll?
Well, I think this happens every year. Doesn't it? This first one, first of all, I'm pissed. Don't get me wrong. I mean, this Oregon thing's the one that just stuns me. But I think what this first one does is give us an idea of what the committee's thinking at this point, because this top 10, top 20 doesn't mean a damn thing. This first one doesn't, because so many of these teams are going to play each other, and it's not going to stay the same. It'll all play itself out.
Yeah.
The problem is they've told Cincinnati, you're out, boys. It's pretty much that simple, unless a lot of crap happens.
Yeah.
That's the significant thing of this.
Yeah.
It's just you're out, Cincinnati. And I think, and I've always thought this, they like to cause controversy.
It's a TV show. It's a reality TV show is how they build it every week. Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's do something controversial to get everybody talking about it. Because the easy thing to have done would have put Georgia, Michigan State, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma the top 4. Yeah. Because they were undefeated. And they're the highest ranking undefeated teams. Wake Forest you could throw in there, but they're just a fling, Yep. Another one's San Antonio, and they're in a lesser situation than these teams. That would have been the easy thing to do. But no, let's really create some controversy, and let's put 3 1-loss teams above an undefeated Oklahoma, and let's get some shit going. And that's all that was on talk radio yesterday, and that's what they want. That's what they want.
The OU thing, they haven't played anybody, and they got all their big games ahead of them. If OU wins out, they're going to be in. Cincinnati's the one. If I was a Cincinnati fan, I would kind of want to jump off the roof, because it's just like, holy cow. We're number 6, and we thought we were there, and it's like, this is big time problem. So for Cincinnati people, I feel bad for them. I still think there's a path for them to get in, but they don't control their own destiny. I think they made that very, very painfully obvious. And
if Alabama beats Georgia, they're history.
Well, and the other big thing, like for OU, you got your big games ahead of you. Like I said, Cincinnati, they're not going to have that boost. SMU got beat, and they just don't have that marquee game left. So, and like we'll talk about them here in a second. They play Tulsa this week. It's not going to get them anywhere. And we play teams like that, and you're needing to move up. It's not going to get you anywhere. Where if you were number 2, and you just need to kind of stay there, maybe that would be enough. So disheartening. And honestly, I think Cincinnati, if they go undefeated, absolutely deserves to be in it. I don't know though. I don't know if they're going to make it.
I don't think so. You know what's really hurt Cincinnati? That conference is not near as strong as we thought it was going to be, and it's killed them. Central Florida is not as good as they have been. Tulsa's terrible. Tulane has killed that conference. They were supposed to be decent. They're just god awful. It's really hurt the Bearcats. Let's talk about the Oregon one for a minute.
Okay.
Because to me, this doesn't make a lot of sense. I know that they're over Ohio State. Okay, I don't have a problem with that. Some of you guys brought it up on the chat Monday, and I kind of disagreed. But now, if you want to put them above Ohio State, okay, because they both lost a game, and they lost head-to-head like that. Yeah. But doesn't Oregon losing to a 3-5 Stanford team mean something?
Shouldn't it hurt both those teams?
Neither one should be in the top 4.
Right, yeah.
Now, my question is this, and I've gotten into this a little bit. Strength of schedule is one of the criteria that you are supposed to base this on if you're on the committee.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon's schedule is god-awful.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's terrible. The Pac-12 is they're awful.
Yeah.
Now, if they go along with what they're supposed to do, strength of schedule, obviously, Oregon is probably not going to stay at 4.
Yeah.
If Oklahoma wins out, and so does Ohio State, it's probably not going to happen because Ohio State's got to have to beat Michigan, and Michigan State. So you're going to have to beat 3 and 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then have to win the Big Ten championship and beat another pretty good team. Oregon has nobody left to beat.
No.
Nobody. That Pac-12 is pathetic. So they're probably going to, they may enjoy it right now.
I think that's what it's going to come down to. And I think for Cincinnati, Ohio State, Michigan State going to have to beat each other up. So that's number one.
Right.
And they're going to have to fall out of it. And then I think Cincinnati can make it because I think Cincinnati can get in if that kind of thing happens. If Alabama beats Georgia, that's the other big one. They're screwed.
I want to throw another interesting little tidbit in here. Just what would happen if this happens. Okay, there's another team lurking out there, and that's the number 13 team, which is Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's take for consideration that they go on through and they win against A&M this week, which would be another big win for them. And then they knock off Alabama.
Yep.
Okay, suddenly they are going to be playing for the SEC championship against Georgia. What if they beat them? They would have beat number 1 and number 2. So then what do you do?
Well, I don't think we'll have to worry about that.
No,
but
I don't either. I
get the point. And then how strong is the SEC? Is it to the point where that can happen and they would get in over somebody even if they had 2 losses? I mean, honestly, my biggest problem with the rankings was who was at number 2. Why do they always get a pass? Listen, they are not what they have been. They are not that good of a team this year. It's like their losses don't count. It's unbelievable to me.
They really don't. The deal is why I don't really have a problem with it that much is they would be favored over every other team in the country except Georgia.
Yeah, but that's one thing, but that's not the end all be all. They lost to a team that is not very good. I'm sorry.
Again, why didn't the committee just do the easy thing and put all the undefeated teams in there? That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. And
then let it play out. No, they had to do this to get us to talking about it.
Right.
And it's this. I had a really good friend of mine who is just pissed off about this. And he's not a huge college football fan.
Mm-hmm.
And he got a hold of me and said, this is why I'm not a huge college football fan. He said, their playoff system is stupid. And it is totally stupid.
It is.
They need to go to 8 teams, at least 8 teams. And, all these coaches and everybody goes, well, we're going to have to play too many games if we do that. I tell you what, get rid of the 12-game schedule and make it 11.
Yeah.
because every team plays some awful team on that schedule.
Yeah.
Every team that would be in these playoffs just to fill out the schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't need that extra game. I don't know. I think they're going to 8 before long.
Yeah.
That would solve some of it. But, I've heard they want to go to 8, and then the automatic qualifiers are your 5 power champions.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that either. Because you're liable to get a conference champion that's lost 3 games. It's
That's
possible.
the other problem. In a perfect world, you'd think, oh, that's a great setup. But there's times that it's not going to work out like that.
You got to make some kind of a provision in there. You look at the ACC this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible a 2 or 3 lost team wins that ACC conference championship.
That's right.
Or maybe we should do away with those games. Those are pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just a flawed system. It has been forever. It's better now than it used to be. Imagine if we were debating on 2 teams, and Alabama and Georgia were the top 2 teams this week, and nobody else.
I know. Anyway, so the next 4 or 5 weeks, this is all going to play out.
Yeah, it'll take care of itself. Yeah. But it's just like it. And again, they do it on purpose. I think
they do
get people pissed
they
off.
Do.
So. Yeah. All right, though, let's get into the games that are going to happen this weekend. We'll go ahead and start into that. I think we'll start with college since we're on the subject. One team that we know, obviously, controls its own destiny is the number 1 team in the nation, Georgia. They're 8-0. They take on 4-4 Missouri. Missouri has really struggled, just 1-3 in the SEC this year. 38.5-point favorite for the Dogs this weekend. I think they roll here.
Well, I do too. But my God, 38.5. That's an awful lot for a team that doesn't score a ton of points.
Yeah.
They're going to have to get to 45, 48, something like that, probably. Mm-hmm. Missouri's terrible on defense, so that's probably why that line's a little bit more. The play I'm going to make, and call me crazy on this one, I'm going to take the Missouri team total, which is 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hope they can score 10.
Well, I get the one angle is, well, gosh, Georgia's just dominating everybody.
They are.
Honestly, Missouri's pretty good offensively. Their problems are on defense. I can see them I think it's a good bet. I really do. I think they can get them to 10. Now, I think Georgia will absolutely run over them. I don't think, it'll be any kind of a game. I could see, 52 to 17. I
hope so. That'll be great.
Yeah, I could definitely see it. Mark says the spread is huge for a conference division opponent, but Missouri can't stop a Pee Wee team. They really can't. Their defense is brutally bad. Let's go on to a team whose defense is also brutally bad. That's Nebraska. Nebraska is now 3-6. Holy cow. Let me say it again. Nebraska is now 3-6. Things aren't going to get any better this week. The number 5 Ohio State Buckeyes come to town. They're now 7-1, and seemingly the Buckeyes control their destiny as far as making the playoffs, if you believe the first ranking. And there's only one place to go for them if they keep winning, and it's up. Forget about this game. Big games ahead of them.
Yes.
So if they went out, they're 100% going to be in. They're 15-point favorite this weekend in Nebraska. How do you see this one breaking down?
Aaron, I'm so old that I just remember when going into Nebraska, something that was tough to do. So I'm still scared for teams when they go in there. I look at that 15, and it's just so hard for me to say to myself, God almighty, 15-point Nebraska, 15-point underdog at home. Honestly, I thought the line might be a little higher. Didn't you?
Yeah, I thought it would be. I think this is a little bit of a short. I thought it'd be in the 20s. Yeah.
So the Vegas still has a little bit of respect for them too. Ohio State, I think's defense is a little bit suspect. I really do. 15, they should cover that. They should. I don't know where Nebraska's heads are either. They may have tossed it in. But they're looking at 3-9. It's
a tough spot for Nebraska. I think Ohio State covers this. The one thing the one bet I'm going to make here is Ohio State over 38.5 total points. I'm with you. I think the one thing you might be questionable with Ohio State, it is on the defensive side of the ball. Nebraska, I mean, Taylor Martinez is a very average quarterback, but, he is capable of moving the ball and making some plays with his feet. So maybe they can kind of score some points, keep it a little closer than what you might expect. End of the day, though, I'm thinking like a 42-21 type win for Ohio State. Shouldn't be much of a game. Right. This one, I think, will be the most exciting game of the week because neither team has a defense and both offenses are really good. Wake Forest, they're number 9 in the opening rankings here at 8-0. Really a surprise that they're at 8-0, obviously. They go to Chapel Hill this weekend to take on North Carolina, who's 4-4. They played Notre Dame tough last week, lost by 10. Same problem. We couldn't stop them, but they were able to move the ball on Notre Dame. I think Wake Forest is begging to get beat. I think this is a really tricky road game for them. I went North Carolina -2.5, but where did you go?
One more thing on the Nebraska deal. I was watching, believe it or not, I must not have anything to do Monday, but I was looking on the internet at some Nebraska stuff. Do you know the fans left early in that game against Purdue?
Did they?
One of the first times they've ever left early, which is a sign that they're getting tired of what's going on.
They're a group. They are such a loyal group of fans. Now they are different. The people are a little different, but they are loyal. So
that's what makes that so unusual that they.
That's a terrible sign. I did not know that.
Yeah. Anyway, this game here has 56-52 written all over it.
It does. Yeah.
It's going to be a dandy. How much of that got taken out of North Carolina last week at Notre Dame? That's a little bit of a concern for me. They played well and could have won and didn't. How much got taken out of them? I think the fact they're playing an undefeated team will get them ready.
Yeah.
Though for this one, they've been a very, very big disappointment. And there we have another deal here where we got a top 10 team that's an underdog to a very average 4-4 team. Yeah. One thing we know is North Carolina can score, and they've got a good quarterback, and Wake Forest has trouble. The 2.5 line is, if you like Carolina, take it because they're probably going to win by more. If you like Wake Forest, you got it. So I'm 50. I wouldn't bet this one. There was nothing in this one I could find to bet.
My deal on this one, it's kind of mentally, it's like, you're right. North Carolina has had such a disappointing season. But here they have an opportunity to beat a team who's in the top 10. They're not really a top 10 team, though. I think everybody kind of knows that. Here's an opportunity to maybe get a win that kind of sort of salvage the season a bit and be like, okay, see what happened here? Like, at least we beat Wake Forest. At least we got it turned around at the end, that type of thing. So, and Scott Sneed says Wake Forest team total over 35.5. Don't disagree with that at all. I think if you're going over with any points in this game, you're making the right decision. All right, let's move on here. Liberty, 7-2 on the year. They've kind of been up and down. They haven't been quite as good as what we thought. They're not too bad. They go on the road this weekend to take on Ole Miss, 6-2. They're at 16 debuting in the first poll here. Ole Miss 9.5-point favorite in this one. This might be a competitive game. What do you think?
Here's another hard one for me because I don't know what Ole Miss's attitude is going to be. They're coming off a loss.
I think their attitude will be pretty good. Ole Miss isn't. They're sitting here at 6-2, thinking we're doing pretty well.
Yeah,
it's all about your expectation level. Right?
It is.
This is kind of they're above a little what expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they are an SEC school, and how much respect are they going to have for Liberty?
Right.
That's the only problem. I think the line is about right. I mean, I think they covered that. I went ahead and I took Liberty to under 29.5. I think Ole Miss shuts them down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of one just we say it a lot. It's like maybe find a better game. I don't know. It does seem kind of like Ole Miss has been playing tough SEC teams every week. Now they get Liberty. It could go one of two ways. They're really fine-tuned and they'll just kick their ass, or they may let down a little bit. I think they're ready to play here. I went back and forth on this one as well. I took Ole Miss, minus the 9.5. I think they beat them by more than that. But
I do too. If they're ready to play, I think they do. I don't think Liberty's that good. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either. I think they were a little bit overrated based on last year. All right, let's move on to the Big Ten. Illinois, schizophrenic Illinois. You never know what you're going to get from them one week to the next. They go on the road this weekend to play number 20 Minnesota, 6-2. And Mark says, how is Minnesota in the top 25? 2 losses, and who have they beat? And they also lost to a terrible Bowling Green team earlier in the year. Of course, the other lost to Ohio State. Nothing wrong with that. But, I think they're playing pretty well. I don't know what Illinois is really. It seems to me like Minnesota is a little bit overrated, but I think they're going to take care of Illinois, don't you?
Oh, definitely. The one thing we know about Illinois is they can't score.
Yeah.
They have trouble scoring.
Yes.
You're asking, why are they in the top 25? Good question. And the other question is, why are they number 20 in the playoff committees?
Right. Yeah.
That's the dumbest one. It's not the number 20. You got to put somebody at 25. My God.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to find one. But 20 in the playoff thing, I think they cover this. It's at home. If the game was in Illinois, I would have another opinion. I do think Minnesota is it's going to come down to them in Wisconsin on the other side of that that Big Ten deal. I think they're getting better. I've been high on them all year. I think they're decent. So, I think they're going to cover this one.
It's amazing how it looked like Minnesota, especially after the loss of Bowling Green, was just buried. And then Wisconsin, we buried right off the bat. And now here they come back. And I do think that side of the Big Ten is going to come down to those two teams. Yeah. So it's really odd how we've come full circle there. It kind of tells you whoever comes out of that is probably going to get their ass kicked in the Big Ten championship game. Because we're not talking about that with the other side of it.
If they get through that, and Minnesota's got to go to Iowa next week, the game will be in Minnesota too. The Minnesota-Wisconsin game.
Yeah. So that would be. They could be. That's a toss-up game. I think.
Yeah, it is.
There are two teams that are pretty similar, but anyway, we can talk about that one next week.
Right.
We'll go on though for this week. I'm not going to talk about Pittsburgh and Duke because there are two things. I don't care about the game. And Pittsburgh still being in the top 25 after losing to Miami is a joke. So I'm going to skip that one.
Total.
This one's very interesting. Open your ears, Magic, because the Michigan State Spartans are 8-0 and control their own destiny to make the playoffs. They're number 3 in the initial rankings. They still got tough games left, too. This one's tricky. They go to Purdue. Purdue's 5-3. They're not a very good team, but they're not awful either. It is at home. Purdue has already beaten a top 25 team this year. It was Iowa. I don't know if you want to count that, but they did win the game. It was at Iowa. Michigan State, only a 3-point favorite in the spot. What do you think?
Kind of interesting, don't you think? The number 3 team in the country is a 3-point favorite.
The number 3 team in the country, a 3-point favorite on the road against Purdue.
Number 3 in the playoffs is a 3-point favorite over 5-3. Yeah, that just shows how this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'd be scared to death if I was a Michigan State fan, would you?
Yeah, I would. It's a trap game for sure.
You are coming off the biggest win you've had in a while.
Yep.
Purdue has shown that they can beat people.
Yep.
Well, they're not bad at all. I think Michigan State beats them pretty easy. I really do. I would be scared if they don't turn the ball over and the pressure hadn't got to them. I think they win by 10 or so in this one.
Here's the deal with me on this one. When everybody is telling you all week this is a trap, it's usually not, because you have you've got the attention, Hey guys, it's a trap. It's a trap. Well, then they're going to focus, The true trap game would be like going to Illinois this weekend, right?
Well,
it's like, we're just going to beat the shit out of them. Who cares?
And then next week they play Maryland, but
that's a true trap.
Play Ohio State. That's your trap right there. So the other thing that leads me a little bit on this, Wisconsin went into Purdue after Purdue beat Iowa, and thumped them. Yeah. So I think Michigan State's going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm taking Michigan. Or Michigan State. Yeah, I'm taking Michigan State. I think they're beating them pretty easy. I watched a lot of that Wisconsin game because I bet the team total over for Purdue, and they had to score 1 touchdown in the second half to get over, and they scored 0. So, so I watched the whole second half and was like, I hate these bastards. So, so no, I'm not going to go with them. We kind of mentioned Cincinnati, the problems they have. They're number 6 And we mentioned they play Tulsa this week, so not going to get much credit for this one. 22.5-point favorite at home. I lean Cincinnati here because I think you're going to get a motivated team that's going to try to kill teams like this. So what do you think of this one?
Well, I think they're going to – I totally agree with you. Since the rankings came out, they're probably going to win by 35 or 40, but ain't going to do them one damn bit of good. That's the problem. So
no, it's not. But I think you've seen a Cincinnati team the last it's been 2 weeks, the Navy game and then the Tulane game, kind of just messing around, knew they were better, not real focused. I think that comes to an end with this ranking. I think they definitely are going to turn it back on. I think Tulsa's going to have a long day. Let's move on. Navy, who historically gives Notre Dame all they want. They go to Notre Dame this weekend. Notre Dame number 10 at 7-1. They need some help, obviously, but they just keep winning, keep playing decent football every week. 21-point favorite for Notre Dame against a Navy team. They are 2-6, but they're playing a lot better. Remember, they played Cincinnati within a touchdown a couple weeks ago. They won last week against Tulsa at Tulsa. What do you think about this one?
They never beat Navy by more than 21.
Yeah, exactly.
Hardly ever. This is one of those games for Notre Dame. Historically, they struggle with. It's kind of a game where, they overlook them a little bit. The option that Navy runs will bother Notre Dame, I think, some. It's just one of those things where Notre Dame has problems with them. I would take Navy plus the points in this one. And I'm wrong, but I would.
I'm the same. I'll take Navy.
Right. And this isn't a powerhouse Notre Dame team.
Yeah.
They're good. They're good, but they're not overwhelming anywhere on the field. So, I mean, they're going to win, but 21's a lot of points.
I'll never forget this. And this is funny. I just was sitting here thinking of this. In 2009, when Zenyatta won the Breeders' Cup at Santa Anita, we were at Ballet's Sportsbook in Las Vegas, and Notre Dame and Navy were playing. Charlie Weiss was a coach at Notre Dame, and everybody was betting Navy plus. They were like 13.5 probably that day or something. And Heather got drunk and bet Navy straight with the money line, bet Navy money line. The game went into like 4 or 5 overtimes, and Navy beat them. And I think they were like something like 4 or 5 to 1 to win the game. She was about passed out by the time the game was over, and we were going nuts watching that. I'll never forget that. That brings back memories. I can't believe it's on the same weekend, Breeders' Cup again.
Yeah.
So. That was a lot of fun. All right, we'll move on from that one. Oklahoma State, they rebound over the tough Kansas team last week and get a win. They're 11 in the poll, 7-1 overall. They go to West Virginia, who beat Iowa State last week at West Virginia, and try to make it 2 in a row against a ranked opponent. Oklahoma State, 3.5-point favorite here. Where are you leaning in this one?
Well, here we go. Number 11. Playing a 4-4 team. Only a 3.5-point favorite.
Now, I will say they did beat a ranked team last weekend. So
that's true.
So I think that's part of it.
Yeah, and West Virginia has played decent. They've got a terrible loss to Tech at home. God, they'd like to have that one back because they could be 5-3 real easy. So Morgantown is a difficult place to go play and win a game. It's a 2:30 time, so at least it's not at night.
Yeah,
I'm pretty high on Oklahoma State. I really am. I've been impressed with them all year. They're winning differently this year. Used to they outscored people. Now they stop them. And I think their defense is pretty good. And I've seen West Virginia in person. Their offense is not real good. I think the Cowboys win this game and cover.
I kind of agree. I think West Virginia's got their full attention. Or Oklahoma State is they're going to be focused against West Virginia after that win last week for them, and the Cowboys have got it all right there in front of them. They've got a chance to make a run here. So I'm going to go the same way as you on that one. All right, Baylor. They'll go on the road this weekend. They're another team, 7-1. They debut at number 12 in the rankings. They go on the road to take on TCU at 3-5. Without Gary Patterson. That's right. Gary Patterson fired mid-season at TCU after all he had done for that program. I think you and I both agree it was about time for him to go, but you hate to see it in the middle of the season like that. We saw a team last week live and in person, Texas Tech, playing without their coach, and it was bad.
Yeah.
Does TCU show up with the same kind of effort here? What do you think?
We don't know what's going on down there, and we don't know how those players. I've heard some stuff where he's too mean. He's old school. He's too mean. I've heard that. I don't know whether that's true. I heard Bob Stoops talking about this right before we came on. I saw him talking about it, and he made a very good point. There's a statue of Gary Patterson outside the stadium at TCU, a statue of the man they fired before the season ever ends.
Yeah.
That's what we've come down to. I don't understand it, because they could have waited till the end of the season and let him go ahead and coach this team, under normal circumstances. Didn't do it. And he took the high road, and they gave him a chance to finish the season. And he said, no, I'm out of here. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't hang around either. I don't know where TCU's. This is one of those games, again, we don't know what the players are going through down there. We don't know what their emotions are. If they like him, I'd say they'll come out and play their ass off. But we don't know. So I think Baylor wins this game. I would have given TCU more of a chance if this hadn't happened. I don't give them much of a chance now.
The big problem with me, TCU, they just aren't very good this year.
No,
and even if none of this happened, I wouldn't have given them a chance. So I am going to go Baylor. I think they cover this one pretty easily. Yeah, tough situation there with Gary Patterson. They hadn't been very good for a while, but at the same time, pretty much built that program. So
I think they probably started tuning him out. I think they probably did. They weren't the same the last couple of years. They used to be hard-nosed defensive teams. They're not anymore.
Yep. That's just it. You join the Big 12, you can't play defense anymore. They used to be really good defensively, but consistently get worse every year. Yeah. All right, let's move on. This one, like you kind of mentioned earlier, this is the game of the week probably. Auburn goes on the road to play Texas A&M, number 13 versus number 14. Both teams are 6-2. A&M a 4.5-point favorite in this one. It's a big game. Auburn back-to-back big games here. What do you think about this one?
I think this is going to be a great game. I like Auburn a lot. I'm not that high on A&M, but they did beat Alabama, so
yeah,
they've done something. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Auburn got a major break when you look at the time of this game.
Yes.
2:30, and it's not at night.
Yep.
College Station at night is crazy. And it's crazy anytime, but it's especially crazy at night. So I think Auburn got a little bit of a break there. They got a big win last week over Ole Miss, held them to 20.
Yep.
Which is pretty impressive, although Ole Miss moved the ball on them a lot, and it was kind of lucky they held them to 20, but they still did. Not sold on A&M's defense or offense at all. They only scored 35 at Missouri. And everybody scores a lot at Missouri. And they scored 44 against ho-hum, South Carolina. Who really cares?
Yeah.
I'm picking Auburn. I think they're going to beat them.
I'm taking Auburn plus the 4.5. I don't know if they win outright or not, but I think it's a tight game. I think these two teams are very similar. They're the second level of the SEC. Similar bunch. We'll see. I think it's going to get close. Listen, Bo Nix at times this year has looked like a really good quarterback.
Yes.
And at times he hasn't. But he's played pretty well on the road this year as well. I think Auburn is going to be able to cover this one. So
that's going to be a good one.
Yep. Let's move on. I'm not going to cover Idaho State at BYU.
I don't think so.
We can skip that one. I'm skipping Wisconsin and Rutgers. If you want to take a nap on Saturday, try to flip this game on. It's on the Big Ten Network because that will be a snooze fest.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about dumb rankings for a second.
Yes.
Mississippi State is number 17 in the opening college football playoff rankings at 5-3. I don't even think they've snipped the top 50 of the AP poll all year long, but they're 17 in this one. They go to Fayetteville to take on Arkansas, who's also 5-3. By the way, that number 17 team, according to the college football playoff, a 5-point underdog against the Razorbacks this week as they go to Fayetteville. This is a big game. Both these teams need a win here. I think this is going to be entertaining. What do you think about this one?
Oh, sure. This is going to be a good one. I saw that ranking and I looked at it like 5 times. And I said, it's got to be a miss. Where did that come from? That makes no sense at all.
Yeah.
I guess they beat Texas A&M. They beat old Jimbo, so that gets you in the top 25. I don't know. That's the nuttiest.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that. I don't think Mississippi State's that good. Although they did beat. Well, wait a minute. They beat Kentucky last week too, didn't they?
Yeah.
That's another reason they're in there, I guess. I don't think Arkansas is that good either. This is just one of those games you just kind of go with what you think kind of happens, and usually Mississippi State doesn't win this kind of game.
Yep.
You're right. This is a big one for both teams because you get to 6-3, you're bowl eligible. You got a chance to win 7, maybe 8. That's pretty good for these two programs, especially in Arkansas that's been struggling over the last few years. Huge game for the Hogs. I think they're going to be ready. The 5 points.
That's the
might
problem.
be a little too much.
Yep.
I think they're going to win, but I think I'd take Mississippi State. And
I'm taking Mississippi State plus the 5. And I have the same kind of logic as you. I think Arkansas definitely can win. I just think it's going to be a tight game. And if I think the game's going to be tight, give me the team that's getting the points. And so, yeah, Mississippi State for me. All right, let's move on to the next one on the list. North Carolina State and Florida State. You know what? No, we're not going to do that one. How about this one? LSU and Alabama. Alabama, number 2 in the country, as we pointed out. LSU 4-4, another team that fired their coach midseason. Well, sort of. He's finishing out the year. Weirdest thing ever. 28.5-point favorite, Alabama. Boy, remember when this game used to be great? Not so much anymore. Make LSU Alabama great again, right? I don't know. I think Alabama.
Let's not go there. I don't want to.
Yeah, okay. I think Alabama covers this fairly easily. What about you?
Oh, I do too. I started to say I wonder when the last time they've been a 28.5-point favorite over LSU, and it may have been last year. It might have been because
probably
here. It's hard to believe LSU's got a 28.5-point underdog, isn't it?
It is.
They've fallen in just a couple of years.
Yeah.
I think Alabama does whatever they want. I don't see LSU putting up much of a fight. 28.5 is a lot. I would go ahead and take Alabama, I think, wouldn't you?
I think Alabama will kill them. Yeah, I really do. And like I said, I don't think this Alabama team is near what they've been especially last year. That was a machine last year. But, even in recent time, I 3-4 years, I think this is one of their worst teams. I put that in quotation marks because it's still a really, really good team.
Oh, it is.
They're not a dominant team this year, but they will dominate this game.
I think so.
I think Alabama rolls.
Mark makes a good point down there, and I don't know whether you've seen that yet or not.
Oh, the Mississippi State point. He said Mississippi State would be 6-2. Memphis refs on the punt return. Yeah, and if you listen to this show, Papa Dude had a rant about that one. So yeah, they should be.
I forgot about that, Mark. You're right.
Yeah, they should.
I remember when that happened. We made that observation that down the road, from Mississippi State team, that is a huge screwing they got. There's no other way to put it.
Because a team like that, wins are hard to come by.
They are.
And when you're getting judged as a head coach in the SEC, and they're looking at your body of work, 9-3 just looks better than an 8-4.
Well, that's a good example right there too. And I know I'm getting old, but people forget when you look at 5-3, that's what you see. 5-3, you don't see 6-2.
Right.
And even me, and I'm a Mississippi State fan because I like Leach. I think he's hilarious. And that's totally slipped my mind too. So
that's a very good point. Yeah.
What we were talking about.
Yep. All right, let's move on to another team that kind of fits that Mississippi State, Arkansas type of mold, trying to get out of the 7-5, 8-4s, and get into it like a 9-3, 10-2. That's Kentucky. They've lost 2 in a row. They get home for this game. They're still ranked number 18. They're 6-2. They host Tennessee at 4-4. This is even. This game is a pick'em basically here. I'm going Kentucky. I think they bounce back this week. What about you?
I do too. I think they will. I picked that game last week as one of my upset specials. I thought That was a tough game for Kentucky to go in there to Starkville and win that game. This is a huge, huge game for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
They get this one and they got a shot. Let me check here real fast if I can find it real quick.
Okay.
Of their schedule. I know it's not too
shuffles his papers around, folks.
Oh, I got 100. Okay, here's their last 3 games. If they can get this one, they go to 7-2. Okay. Next week they go to Vanderbilt, so that should be a win. And they have New Mexico State at home. I mean, they're terrible. So there's 9, and then they end up with a rivalry game with Louisville, and that could go away. 9 wins in Kentucky. That's a lot. 10, what a season. And so this is huge for them. They're better than Tennessee. And I found a booking where you get them for a point. They're favored by a point, and I took them. I think they're going to win this one.
I do too. And like I said, 10-2 at Kentucky, that's how you get a statue built for Stoops there.
And a big pay raise.
Or a new job. That would be the smartest thing for him. Get the hell out of there. But
he likes it there. You notice he's never mentioned for some of these jobs.
It's weird.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know why that would be. He was the defensive coordinator at Florida State. You think he would be mentioned for that? Not that it's open right now, but it probably will be again. Let's be honest. He wasn't mentioned last time it was open. That's weird. Yeah, I don't know.
He's got the last name.
Yeah, that's the other thing. He's coached
in the SEC and made Kentucky a pretty tough out.
Yeah. Kentucky went to Georgia, and not that the game was like competitive, but it was better than a lot of the teams that have played. Almost all of the teams that have played.
It is better than all the teams.
Yeah. Better. Now I agree with this right here. Lexington is a great place. It is. It is one of the best places. Horse racing, bourbon, and a friendly college town. I would live in Lexington.
He may be a bourbon drinker. Who knows?
He looks like he might be. Russ chimes in, says Mississippi State +5. He's got no confidence in the Hogs this week. So
yeah, he's like us. He's pessimistic, buddy.
Yeah, I know he always is negative about the Razors.
I love that about you, Russ.
I mean, Russ bet Arkansas Pine Bluff over 2.5, got us on it, and they scored 3.
They got it. They did it.
Got to thank Russ for that bet that week.
Oh, that was great.
All right. I would have let you talk about this for 20 seconds, or I would have skipped it.
I can do it in 5.
Okay, it's your Hawkeyes who've lost 2 in a row embarrassingly. They go to Northwestern.
I think they win.
Your Hawkeyes for 5.
Okay, I think they win, but they don't cover.
Good enough. We'll move on. Boise State, Fresno State. I don't care about that one. Oregon goes to Washington. Oregon's number 4. They go on the road to Washington. And Oregon just a 7-point favorite. Here's another team in the top 4, a single-digit favorite on the road against a 4-4 team. So it kind of shows you what Vegas thinks of these rankings. What do you think here? Washington's been up and down.
Yeah.
Oregon probably should beat them. But what do you think?
I almost took Washington in this one.
I thought about it too.
I think it's their Super Bowl.
Yep.
Or their bowl game or whatever. I think they're going to give Oregon all they want. Now, Oregon's got their number. That's the thing. They've beat them, I think, 14 out of 16 times, I think. For some reason, the total points are not – I can't find them anywhere on this game. Never did find them.
They never came up. I don't know why that would be.
I don't get that.
Yeah.
I hope they beat the shit out of them. That'd be so funny, wouldn't it? If they beat
it would be funny.
But it would take this playoff committee off the hook. Oregon, they probably would drop to what, number 5?
Yeah, right.
I'm just chicken to bet it because Washington's offense is so bad that that this leaves me out. So I'm not going to bet anything on this one.
I'm with you. I don't know what Oregon is week to week. I do agree with your one thing that you said that I really do agree with. It does seem like Washington gets an opportunity to kind of salvage a disappointing season against a pretty overrated team that they should be able to match up with here. So I do think they come out really, really motivated to try to get a win. I'm just going to watch this one. I'm going to, I don't know if I'm on the fence with this one. I'll go ahead and introduce the games to get your thoughts. Indiana 2-6. They are awful. They go to Michigan, who's at number 7 at 7-1. Michigan, a 20-point favorite. I about said I'm Michigan here because I just think Indiana is not very good. But can Michigan get back up for this game after a heartbreaker last week?
That's the problem. That's the problem with that.
Yeah.
They should beat them easy. I think they will. I do. I think Harbaugh's pretty good at that kind of stuff. And that would be the only thing that would keep this from being a blowout.
Yeah, and I think just to put it bluntly, they're kind of used to this, right? Like trying to bounce back after losing to a rival. They do it often. So, yeah, I don't think that'll be much of a game. Indiana is a very disappointing team. They're just not very good.
Other thing is, though, they do go to Penn State next week.
Yeah.
So this could be tough.
Okay, let's move on to no, I'm not going to talk about that one, actually. I don't care about San Diego State and Hawaii. Let's move on to the NFL. How about, okay? We'll go on to tonight's game. That's right. There's a game going on tonight. The New York Jets, who won last week, they're up 2-5. Now they go on the road, take on the Colts, coming off a heartbreaking loss against Tennessee at 3-5. All right, what do you think here? Jets, Colts, a 10.5-point favorite. That's a lot of points in the NFL, especially with a team that's kind of struggling to score points. Who are you taking in this one?
Let's do this one in 5 seconds.
Okay.
Because who cares?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Jets plus the points.
I'm going to take the Jets plus the points and then throw up right after I said that. How about
that? And I will not watch it.
I'm not going to watch it either. I have a feeling I'll get on my phone and when it's about half and say, let's see if the Jets are covered. And it'll be like 24-0 Colts. And I'll say, that was really smart.
Hey, we got to pick a game here for Mark.
Betting the Jets. Let's see.
Colorado State at Wyoming.
The wheels have fallen off the wagon for Wyoming. 4-0 to 4-4. But rivalry game this week against Colorado State. What do you think?
And the bronze boot is on the line, he says.
Where does he say that?
Yeah, it's up there on the next one above.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Well, I think I saw somewhere where Colorado State was favored in this game. So I don't think they're going to win. I'll take Wyoming, Mark.
All right. Wyoming trying to get back and stop that game losing streak. We'll see what happens there. Jets stay hot, Russ says. So, and then Carson Wentz will keep the Jets in the game. So
I think Indy's going to win. But 10.5, I don't know.
Yeah. Mark says CSU a 3.5-point favorite in that game. So
Wyoming all the way, Mark.
We'll see.
They want that boot.
That's one game I can guarantee you I won't be watching, Mark. Sorry. No offense. But I got a lot going on Saturday.
Yes, you do.
Here's another game I'd like to not watch, but I know I will painfully do it because I'm stupid. The Cleveland Browns go on the road this week.
Will you be home by then?
I think I will be in the air during this game. Trying to do the time. I might be in Houston by the time this game kicks off, actually. I don't know. I'll be traveling.
All right.
The Browns go to Cincinnati, take on the Bengals. The Bengals are a 2.5-point favorite here. That's crazy. I think they could win this game double digits. I'm taking Cincinnati. You can tell by my rant Monday and my sound of my voice here. I'll take the Bengals. Who you got here?
Same thing. I think the Bengals, 2.5 is not much.
No.
So if you think they're going to win, you take them.
Yep. Well,
this is Cleveland's last stand.
Yeah.
So will that mean anything? I don't know.
Well, now OBJ is probably not going to play, I wouldn't think, after the drama that's going on there. That might be the key to the Browns being good again, because in games OBJ's in, they suck, and in games he's not in, they play really good.
Well, and for you Mayfield haters,
Jared, are you listening?
The Browns
Jared's listening.
Have made a stand.
Say it again. I got people yelling at me. Say it again.
The Braves have the Braves. The Browns have made a stand on this. They've told OBJ to hit the road.
Yes. Yep.
He's bickering about Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know is when
So they have made a stand.
It is interesting that they've taken the side of Mayfield, but when a player comes out against another player over social media, it's hard to take the stand of we're going to go against the player that's getting made fun of on our team. So
If you'll remember when they signed him 2 years ago, I said to you, that's the dumbest thing they've ever done.
You did.
Never have that guy on my team. It's all about him. He could care less about the team.
Yep.
It's true.
Yep.
So he needs to go to the Raiders or somewhere like that.
Well, the Raiders need a wide receiver, so
Well, somebody will sign him because they're stupid.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He will get signed.
They see his talent.
Yeah.
And they say, "Oh, we got to have him."
Yeah.
He ain't worth a shit if he can't contribute, and he can't.
Well, the bottom line is I've never really had anything against him, and I get his frustrations. But when I'm watching the game last week, and Mayfield throws him a great pass, and all he has to do is go up and get it, and it's a touchdown, and they take the lead, and it's late in the game, and he just half-ass goes up with one hand and then try to catch it. It's like, well, that one's on you. I mean, if you're an elite player, you go up and catch that ball. So I won't cry when he's gone, and he's definitely gone. And Mark says, I stand by my preseason comment with you guys. OBJ is a cancer. They need to move on. Yeah, it would be better off for both. Russ says he's going to be at this game. Are you talking about Cincinnati and Cleveland, Russ?
I think he's talking about Dallas.
Or he's talking about no. Oh, maybe he's talking about Dallas. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about Dallas.
Yeah. Because Dallas on the screen. All right, we'll talk about Dallas. This is gonna be crazy. The Broncos go on the road to Dallas. Dallas is a 10-point favorite in this game. Broncos are 4-4, still halfway in the division as far as the record goes. But I think Dallas covers this one easy. Yeah, Russ says I'm gonna be at Dallas. What do you think about this one?
Is Dak gonna play?
It seems like he's gonna be back. Yeah.
They're gonna roll Denver.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't even talk anymore about it. If they're ready to get,
that's back to my point. That's a true trap game. When everybody goes, "Oh, you're going to roll them."
That's true.
That's a trap game. Not the game that everybody goes, "Oh, this is a trap." That's not the one, right? So this is the one where they might, not play very well. But I'm with you. Logically, listen, Denver is bad. How that team has won 4 games, it's beyond me. Speaking of bad. Has there ever been a worse game in NFL history than the 1-7 Texans at the 1-7 Dolphins? Maybe not, right?
I think what would be interesting is the winner of this then goes on to play Detroit for the Toilet Bowl.
That would be great. Put Detroit and Jacksonville in the other side.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 4-team. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a horrible game. Horrible.
That is a horrible game. This one kind of, I think, should be too. This is interesting. If you like the Saints and you think that whoever they throw out there at quarterback, if it's Simeon this week is who it looks like. If the Falcons, if you like Simeon and you think he can move the ball, 6.5-point favorite over the Falcons, who are just, they're just up and down like crazy. Yeah. What do you think? Can the Falcons pull a little bit of an upset, or do the Saints keep it rolling?
Well, again, we don't know what this kid can do. And
we do know what he can do. He's disgustingly average is how I would describe him.
Isn't Taysom Hill back in the picture this week?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's possible. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd take the Falcons and the points. I think I would.
All right.
Look at the interesting ones. These suck.
Russ says he's taking the Falcons as well. Yeah, I know. All right, we'll move on here. Raiders and the Giants. Yeah, I mean, this is a big game, though.
It is.
We do need to talk about this one. The Raiders are a 3-point favorite. They go on the road to play the Giants. Well, the Raiders are still in really good position, and you look at these other teams in this division, and they're not playing very well. The Chiefs did beat the Giants. They didn't play very well. San Diego's lost 2 in a row. Los Angeles lost 2 in a row. So now the Raiders are sitting up there in a good spot. Listen, though, Gruden, that whole thing happened. Now the Ruggs thing happened. Can this team continue to stay focused?
I don't know. And this is a huge game for them.
Yeah.
If they're going to win the division, they have to win this one. You can't lose these games and win your division.
Yep.
You just can't. I don't know what kind of distraction that other thing is. I don't know. I think NFL players deal with this kind of stuff a lot. I don't know if that'll bother them or not.
Yeah.
3 points. Golly, they're better than that, aren't they?
God, you would think they're going to cover this, but I think the distraction part of it has a lot to do with the line.
I do too, and the Giants played good in Kansas City the other night. So
there are times the Giants don't look that bad.
That's right.
And there are times it looks like they cannot beat anybody.
I know.
The problem with the Giants is if you're going to take them here, you're basically saying I'm counting on Daniel Jones to go out and win this game because they don't have anybody left. They're hurt or they're, I can't do that. So I'll take the Raiders here. If they were playing anybody decent, I would go somewhere else. But I do think they're going to win here. But it's either way. All right, huge game for the Patriots. They're kind of started to get things going. They go on the road to play the Panthers. The Panthers got a big win last weekend. Get back into it a little bit. New England a 3.5-point favorite here. Both teams 4-4. I mean, like I said, pivotal game. Who you got in this one?
This is a sneaky good game. Yeah, right here. 2 4-4 teams. I'm a New England fan, so I'm going with the Patriots. I'm starting to believe in them. I think they cover.
I'm with you. I think they keep it going. I think they've got their eyes set on a wild card. I really think they're getting things going. Yeah, I think they're going to win this one as well. Bills and the Jags, no reason to talk about that one. That should be pretty easy for the Bills. Vikings-Ravens, this is a big game. The Ravens coming off a bye, a 6-point favorite at home against the Vikings, who just, gosh, they're 3-4, and it feels like they should be much better. But 6 points, it's a lot, I think. I think the Vikings will have some success on defense in this game. Where are you leaning here?
Well, the Vikings are 3-4 because that's what they are. Yeah. They win, they don't.
Yeah.
The line is 6. Ravens had a week off. I think they cover.
Yeah. I kind of think the Ravens cover here as well. I think the Vikings, and I'll throw this up. Vikes are done. Don't bet them. I think that loss last week was a real backbreaker because they needed to win that game. They could really get some momentum going. Mm-hmm. To lose that one, now you got to turn around and go to Baltimore. It's a tough ask. Kirk Cousins, the tribe has spoken. Time to vote him off. Yeah, he's been grossly average for a while now. We kind of talked about him. I think I was on Monday's show, and quarterbacks like him that he's good enough to get the coach fired. Basically, like he's good enough to give all the fans hope, but he's not good enough to really get you to the next level. So that's where he's at. All right, Chargers and the Eagles, another huge game, and again, that division is wide open in the AFC West, other than maybe Denver. I think the other 3 teams have got about an equal shot to win it. Chargers are just a 1.5-point favorite on the road against Philadelphia. 2 weeks ago, we thought, well, hell, Philadelphia's phoned it in. Then they beat the hell out of Detroit, but it was Detroit. Can they come back? To me, I think the Chargers cover this. I cover this pretty easy. What do you think?
I think it's interesting. The line's only 1.5 points. Don't you?
Yeah.
I think they do too. I'm pretty trades and stuff, and they're hanging in there pretty tough. They really are.
Yeah.
I think the Chargers cover it. They better. They have to win this game or they're going to sink down, I think.
That's the thing. I think they are it's not desperation mode, but you have to go win.
Yeah.
And I think that motivation gets the job done there. Yep. Yeah. All right, let's move on to this became extremely interesting. It was already a really interesting game. Now it really is. Aaron Rodgers out with COVID. That is the big news for this one. As the 7-1 Packers go on the road once again this week to take on the 4-4 Chiefs. We said, hey, the Chiefs got to win, but they still didn't look very good here. But they get a big break now. The Chiefs are now a 7.5-point favorite with Aaron Rodgers out. But if you remember, the whole thing that started this controversy with Aaron Rodgers was the Packers drafted Love to be the future quarterback. Well,
that's right.
He gets his chance here. What do you make of this game now that Rodgers is out?
Well, I've done a little bit I read a little bit on this. I didn't really understand the significance of the fact that he's not vaccinated. I don't know whether you want to get into this or not. But
I don't know. This story broke when we were working on breeder stuff and traveling. I have not followed it. So go ahead.
Well, the NFL's got all these protocols for players that are not vaccinated. There's rules that they are supposed to follow if they're not vaccinated. Okay. He didn't follow any of them.
Really?
So the Packers might be getting fined and might get in big trouble over this because he's not the only one. There was a couple of other Packers players that aren't vaccinated that weren't following the protocols that are set by the NFL. Okay.
Okay.
And these guys are employed by the NFL.
Right.
Okay? They're getting paid. So he was supposed to wear a mask around other people. He couldn't be in rooms of any more than 3 in meetings. There's just a whole long list of stuff that was being violated. And the NFL's investigating this. So how much of a distraction is this in Green Bay amongst team? I'm wondering. I don't know. It's a very interesting situation. And so anyway, had he been vaccinated, he could have played in this game if he would have had to take tests. They would have had to be negative and blah, blah.
Right.
It said if he was asymptomatic, he could have played had he been vaccinated. So he kind of led us to believe he was vaccinated. He never really said that. He kind of beat around the bush, being kind of selfish, if you ask me. But that's just my opinion. So anyway, how's this affecting Green Bay? I don't know.
Yeah,
that's the unknown.
Well, you get your chance here if you're Green Bay. You get your chance to show out your quarterback here against a defense that's pretty weak. I'm still going to take the Packers plus the 7.5. I think they'll have success moving the ball. The Chiefs did not cover against the Giants last week. You got to think the Packers are going to be better than what the Giants threw out there. I think the Packers still cover this.
Yeah, I think the question is, can they run the ball? How good is the Green Bay running game?
Yeah.
Because
they were pretty good against Arizona.
Yes. Yes. And they were, they were down a couple of players in that game. Here's the thing with Green Bay, that if they aren't totally distracted by this, if there's not crap going on that we don't know about within the Green Bay facility, there's all kinds of stuff could be going on. They're focused and they're ready. They're Green Bay. Yeah. And, they're going to play extremely well. They've lost the guy that makes it work. It's the only thing. We don't know anything about Jordan Love. He just hasn't played very much.
Yeah.
So I'm with you. I think 7.5 is too much. The best line, though, is I think you're probably going to take it, is the Green Bay over 20.5 points.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll get over that. Yeah, I think that's the best bet on the docket for this game. Yeah.
Yeah. It's if Jordan Love can make – it's like Mark said, if Jordan Love can make a play or two, he's going to have to make a play. They're not going to beat the Chiefs if he doesn't.
Here's the deal. Rodgers is like the difference maker between winning and losing, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about covering 7.5 points and scoring 20.5 on the Chiefs. Love is capable of doing that. Is he capable of going Arrowhead and beating the Chiefs? Probably not, but he's capable of keeping it close. I guarantee you.
Let's put it another way, too. The Chiefs just got a tremendous break, and they better take advantage of it.
Well, if they lose this game, you might be able to stick a fork in the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Officially. Because we've been very careful not to say that because we know what they're capable of.
Oh, yeah.
But if you lose this one, it's officially panic time. It's not concern, it's panic time for the Chiefs. Because the problem is the Chiefs have games where it's like it looks like on paper, they can definitely win this, or wow, they may not win at all. They have very tough games left, sprinkled throughout some easy ones. So this is one they now have to win, no doubt about it.
Yeah, all right.
What's that?
They got to win this one.
Yeah, they have to win this one. Yeah, they have to win this one. All right, let's move on. We got 3 more to talk about before we wrap up the show here. The Cardinals coming off that loss to Green Bay. They're 7-1, still in really good shape, but they got to keep winning because the Rams are right there at 7-1 as well. This week, they go to the 49ers, 3-4. 49ers have just had a struggle bus type of season. Arizona is just a 1-point favorite in this game. What do you think of the line on this one?
Well, I've scratched my head on this one all week, too.
Are they thinking Kyler Murray might be banged up? That's the question mark.
Just don't think Vegas is sold on the Cardinals.
I don't think – well, obviously they're not when you see this,
Yeah, and this is do or die for the Niners.
Mm-hmm.
You can pretty much officially put a fork in them if they don't win this game.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. San Francisco's traditions a lot more than Arizona. I don't know. The Cardinals are better. See, the Niners have them, and they got the Rams next week at home. They win both those games, they're back in the hunt.
Yep.
Especially for a playoff or for a wild card. I don't think they're good enough, But you're right. The Cardinals have got to win.
Yeah, they have to keep winning games
to win the division. They're in good shape as far as wild card goes. 1 point, it's the same thing. You like the Cardinals, take them because you're not going to get a better one than that. So I think they're going to win, but boy, it won't surprise me if they don't.
Yeah, I know. It's anytime we see a line like that, it gives you a little bit of pause for concern. I'm taking the Cardinals simply because I don't think San Francisco's good enough to beat them. They have just been very, very average, if not below average all year. All right, now we get to the game of the week, but it kind of loses a little bit of luster because Derrick Henry out for this game. That's the bad news. Tennessee was really starting to build something, and they get the injury. They're still 6-2. They go on the road to take on the Rams, 7-1. Rams 7.5-point favorite here. I just got to think it's going to take some adjustment to get this thing righted for the Titans here. I think the Rams jump on them early and get the job done. You giving the Titans any chance?
Well, I wrote in the article I think Tennessee will eventually get it straightened out. I think they will adjust, and they're still going to win the division and make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
But can they do it in like 4 or 5 days? I don't know.
So.
Their running back situation is not good. The guy they got coming in, Jeremy McNichol, has carried 7 times all season long.
I mean, they signed Adrian Peterson, but that's where they're at,
And they're saying he might play.
I know. Yeah. So
what kind of shape does this guy just work out all the time? I mean, can you just come out of the backyard and play in the NFL? I don't know.
That's what he's going to try to do. Yeah.
Now, I tell you, if he can get in shape and if he's got anything left, we know the guy can play.
Yeah.
And the Titans' offense is set up perfectly for a running back like him. But he can't possibly be ready this week. So it's all on Tannehill.
Yeah.
And he's not good enough to carry him this week.
Yeah.
Again, I think the Titans will get it straightened out before it's all over. I think they're a pretty classy bunch. But to go into LA this week, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, LA will jump on them and get all over them. I'm with you. I think it's going to take some time to adjust. And is there any bigger fall when a guy gets hurt than from Derrick Henry to what's next?
Yeah.
I mean, he's unbelievable. And then your next guy is some guy nobody's ever heard of that's carried it 7 times, an 80-year-old Adrian Peterson.
Oh, yeah. And Henry's their personality. He's their guy. He's their guy. He's their personality. It's what they built everything around. Yeah. And you can't adjust to that in 1 week. You just can't.
Scott says tease down the Ravens, the Rams, and the Chiefs. I kind of like that. Yeah, I think that will be interesting to see how that happens. Those are 3 teams that I think need to win, gonna win. Setup looks pretty good for them. So I do kind of like that. Let's see. Do you want to save this great Monday night game for the show on Monday, or should we do it right now? It's your
I think you need to save that. It's a tremendous game, and I think we need to save it.
I'm going to save it just because it's Breeders' Cup week, and I got 37 things to do, and I need to have the show.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, so we will save that one for Monday. All right, let's go over the big ones, the top 5s. We both kind of had some troubles this week. We thought this was a tough betting week. I'll let you go first. Your top 5s on the screen now. You can take us through them.
Well, this is my top 5, but I don't like any of them. So I texted you a while ago and said, man, I can't find much I like. Usually 2 or 3 things jump out at me when I'm looking at them, and I had to dig and dig and dig, and I still couldn't find much.
Right.
That I really liked this week. There's a scratch. I was going to ask you about the scratch that you were telling me about. Mark just put it up there. I guess that's okay.
Yeah.
Here they are. I think the Steelers are going to cover the 6.5 on Monday night. We didn't talk about it, but I think they dominate the Bears. think the Steelers are getting things straightened out. Talked about Kentucky. I'll take them to cover the 1. Liberty to go under 29.5. Missouri, come on, Tigers, you can score 10 points. And Penn State, I think wins, but I think they score under 33.5. That's my big 5 for the week.
All right, there's the 5 there. I liked them. I was with you. I had a little bit of trouble this week, man. A lot of Breeders' Cup stuff, and I thought it was really tough. The good news for me, 5-0 last week. I'm back to respectability, but the bad news is I don't want to lose all that ground I made up with this week. So
let's see what you got here.
I've stressed over this for too long. Navy over 13.5 for the team total. They should score some points this week against Notre Dame. And 13.5 is very low. Houston over 34.5. I think they score a lot this week as they What's that?
Who they play?
God, I knew you were going to ask me that.
Wait a minute, I got it right here.
Pull it up. I had it, and then
it's South Florida.
That's right. Yes, South Florida is not very good.
No.
Yeah. So 34.5 for Houston over. I like that one. Baylor -6.5. I just think the coaching situation there at TCU is not good. I think TCU is kind of in shambles. By the way, Baylor's got everything in front of them. They can make a run at this thing. They're not going to slip up against TCU this week. So Baylor -6.5. Whoops, hold on. Let me delete that real quick. I had 2 things I was writing at the same time. By
the way, if Baylor runs the table, they're not getting into playoffs.
No, I agree. But you can still say they've got everything ahead of them. Kentucky, I just think they show up and beat Tennessee. It's a big game for them. They're back at home. I really think that'll make a big difference. So Kentucky -1. And then New England over 22.5 team total points for them. They go to Carolina. They need to win that game. I put it at 5th. That's the one that I'm, I could see them winning like a 21-17, and I get screwed on that one. But I do think they get up over that 22.5.
I don't think you're going to go over. I don't think you're going to go over.
Well, it is Breeders' Cup week, and you are in the guide, and you gave out some picks. And Scott said, can we get some Breeders' Cup winners? So I'll ask you a couple of real quick questions. But, yeah, the breaking news is domestic spending is out. That's why the show got started a little bit later today. They had to update the guide. And, yeah, like Russ says, he got the guide. He's still going EQ in the Classic. Good luck, everyone. Russ, if you go back and re-download it, it is updated with that scratch of domestic spending. If anybody's watching who bought the guide or is a subscriber, go back and re-download it now, as that is updated. It's out on everybody's accounts, right? Yep. Jared's giving me the thumbs up. So anyway, Breeders' Cup. What race are you looking most forward to, Papa Dude?
You guys, I wish I had my guide in front of me. The one that's Latruska's in.
Latruska, yeah, that's your horse. You saw her beat Monomoy Girl live and in person, the Apple Blossom. You picked her on top. So
but I don't think she's going to win.
Why did you put her on top?
Because I don't want to root against her. That's why. So, yeah, that's a tough race. There's some good ones in there. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Classic, of course. That's a tremendous field there.
Who did you pick in the Classic?
I went with
Who did you pick in the Classic?
Essential Quality.
Okay, so you agree with Russ. You went with Essential Quality.
Yeah, I almost went with Nick's Go.
Yeah,
he's second, and I think who's Hot Rod Charlie I had 4th. Who's Medina Spirit? I had that one 3rd.
Yeah. I think Essential Quality, Nick's Go. I think that's what it comes down to. That should be a hell of a race.
Mark's got the horse I think will beat Latruska.
Oh yeah, Mark likes Malthot. You put Malthot second.
Yes, but I think she's going to win.
Yeah, I think with Malthot or with Latruska, it could be a classic case of if you handicap this thing, you're picking a lot of favorites. If you handicap with any kind of logic at all, and you get to that race, and it's like, yeah, she could get beat, but it could be a situation where we're just all trying to make up reasons, and she just.
Well, let me ask you this: if she wins, has any horse had a better year ever?
Oh well, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, there's been horses that had better
7 in a row.
Well, I mean, as far as horses in her division, she would rank.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. Amongst her division, sure, she would rank right up there.
She's going to win. It'll be 18 out of 23, I think.
Yeah,
that's pretty damn good.
It's pretty amazing.
And I'm looking forward to see Gamine run. I love to watch her run.
You're a Gamine fan. Nobody likes Gamine. You like Gamine.
Why don't they?
Well, because of the Baffert thing.
Well, Gamine couldn't help it.
No, that's very mature of you.
I hate Baffert. I hate Baffert. But, I mean, did the horse say, "What are you shooting in me?" No.
Yeah.
That's total bullshit. I mean, what is wrong with you guys? It's not the horse's fault. I mean, I don't root for the trainer. I root for the horse. I mean, I like to watch her run. I hope she kicks her ass. I really do now.
Well, if you take away the human aspect of it, she is a lot of fun, right? She comes out and just blows their doors off. I thought you would say Jackie's Warrior. I thought you would be really
I'm scared for that one.
You're going to be more nervous about that one.
Yeah, I'm very, very nervous because Asmussen's my guy. Yeah. And God, what a horse. What a horse.
Yeah.
You talk about a gutty horse. That one, I love watching the races until that one goes because I get so nervous whenever that one runs. And I always want to call her a she.
We do that too. All of us do that. And it's just the natural. You think Jackie, you think girl. Yeah. But yeah, I know. I'm kind of with you. I'll be nervous about that one.
Yeah. And I love Silver State.
Yeah.
Love that horse. Who's that? But that Life is Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think he can. Yeah. That's another steady horse, man.
That horse is good. Yeah.
I'm talking about Silver State.
Oh, yeah. Silver State. Yeah. Had a huge win streak. Got beat in the Whitney to Nick's go, but no discredit there. But the last time out got beat at Parks, and that kind of made me think, well,
yeah.
You can't lose at Parks and then come beat Life is Good.
Well, he might be a little tired.
Yeah, hell, he's danced a lot of dances this year.
Yes.
No question about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, I don't give two hoots about tomorrow.
You don't care about the juveniles?
Not really. They don't thrill me much.
Yeah.
But the Saturday's going to be great.
Yeah, Saturday is going to. Well, we kind of talked about it on the way here. We think Saturday, top to bottom, when it just comes to like talented horses, it might be one of the best ever. Because you got the Classic, they're just stars in that race. You got Gamine, who's a star. You got Life is Good, who's a star. You got Jackie's Warrior, who's a star. You got Tarnawa, who is a star. You've got all kinds of other international horses in the other races. I mean, even like a horse like Golden Pal in the sprint, if he wins that one, I mean, he's a star in my book, no matter what.
I believe I picked him. I think I did.
Yeah, you did. He goes to another level if he wins that one. And if you looked at Papa Dude's picks in the guide, he's hating on the European horses. He went all Americans in these turf races.
I don't know a damn thing about him, so I don't think they do that well over here either, do they?
Well, they do in the Breeders' Cup usually.
No. Well, I tell you what, I don't know anything about turf horses either.
Yeah.
Because I don't watch tracks that have a turf,
right.
Except Remington, and they don't have this quality.
Remington doesn't have those caliber, no.
Well, I really struggle in the sprint or in the turf races because I've heard of a few of them, but not very many.
Yeah.
Well, then you mentioned you got Zenyatta on here. Don't get me started on her because I'll argue with these guys so I'm blue in the face. Greatest horse ever, period.
Yep, Zenyatta.
They'll argue against me, but I don't care, Dan.
Well, I think other horses could beat her, but she was definitely my favorite of all time. She definitely captured the hearts of everybody in the horse racing industry.
One thing on that, Aaron, you show me a 6-year-old female that wins the Breeders' Cup Classic against the males the way she did.
Yeah.
And she ain't the greatest horse of all time. But come on.
Yeah, well, she remains the only female to ever win the Breeders' Cup Classic, and
at that age,
yeah, that could stand for a long, long time.
Go back. Was she 6 when she got beat, or was she 7?
She was 6 when she got beat. She was 5 when she won.
She was 5. Okay, I don't care. 5, 6 doesn't make any difference.
But her race at 6 may have been better than her race at 5. I mean,
absolutely. At 6, she got beat by a nose.
Yeah, and one more jump and she had it. So yeah.
And once again, as we've said a million times, horse racing is so cruel.
It's the cruelest of them all. Yeah.
There are no horse racing gods, let me tell you.
No.
They all
They're
went
very-
to hell the day Zenyatta got beat. That's
Yeah.
all I'm going to say.
Yeah. Dan agrees. Greatest of all time. Only one loss by a nose. All right. I got to get going, guys. Listen.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
You gotta-
Listen, though. Breeders' Cup Roundtable podcast today, and that's going to happen. And then we'll also have podcasts on Friday and Saturday as well. Breeders' Cup Roundtables. We'll have Samich, we'll have Jared, we'll have myself, we'll have Magic. It's going to be a lot of fun. So stay tuned to the YouTube channel. We're going to be here all week long for you guys. Also, a lot of videos up on the YouTube now. So if you haven't watched them, we preview all 14 races in video format on the YouTube channel. So make sure to check that out as well. I know Magic put a lot of work into that, and they look great. So he's done a really, really good job. So check out all of that. It's Breeders' Cup time officially. Sports are in a rearview mirror until Monday. Papa Dude will be right back here on Monday, recapping everything for you guys. Guys, we'll see you, I'm sure, later on today and throughout the week. But if we don't, good luck to everybody. Have a great Breeders' Cup week.